What's going on, everybody? Chase with IW Hockey here today with Jordan from True Hockey here at True headquarters in Memphis, Tennessee, with a very exciting HZRDUS 9X4 line in front of us. As always, I can't wait to jump into the tech and spec, especially the big improvements that we see this year. But Jordan, can you tell us who that HZRDUS player is and maybe what flex profile they're looking to use?
Yes, absolutely. So this HZRDUS is tailored for the player that's making shots in tight, right? Looking for that quick release, getting the puck in the back of the net as fast as they possibly can. So this is a low kick offering, just really tailoring to that player.
And I've always been a low kick fan and a true low kick fan. Very excited this year too. And I really want to talk about the improvements that we find in the 9X4. So it's obviously going to have that low kick point, but it sounds like the blade is the biggest change that we're going to find this year. Is that right?
Yeah, we've definitely made some improvements in the shafts as well, but we'll start with the blade.
Okay. So in terms of feel, you know, as someone who maybe has been a big HZRDUS loyalist, are they going to notice a big difference this year?
In terms of feel, I think they feel very similar. So we're kind of maintaining that stiffness, but we're kind of amping it up a little bit. We're taking it to a whole nother level here with the new SRT4 technology. So in the previous HZRDUS, we had the TRT technology. We found significant improvements by adding a rib just from a longevity standpoint, a bend strength and overall stiffness standpoint, and then our performance, like the velocities that our shooters were getting with this compared to the previous 9X were very significant.
Going from the TRT, that was 3 ribs, the SRT4 obviously has 4 ribs, but you know, for someone at home trying to understand what that does, 2-part question: what do those ribs do for the player when they're shooting? And then, you know, there's some unique geometry in the SRT4 this year. How does that improve that benefit as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So SRT is going to stand for Strategic Rib Technology. So that's where we've really dialed in where we're putting these ribs. So that's where the player is like getting the most impacts on that blade from the puck, catching passes, taking one-timers, all of that stuff. So really focusing on where we put that material in the blade to help this stick perform at its highest level. So as you mentioned, the geometry with these ribs, they actually extend up into the toe, which helps keep that toe closed on the most powerful shots. And then also, as the shooting styles change to firing pucks off that toe, maintaining that stiffness is really important, and this rib structure maximizes those shots.
So you're getting even better pop this year, but still maintaining that high level of durability too, right?
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's going to be a common theme, especially as we move up into the stick, talking more about that reinforced hosel and just the overall construction this year. You guys are always looking to improve and to bring the best product to the market. So what was kind of the concept behind the reinforced hosel, and then maybe some improvements in the res flow too?
Yeah, so we'll start with the hosel. As everybody knows, from here down is probably the highest impacted part on your stick, right? You're taking face-offs, getting slashed, lifting sticks, blocking passes, blocking shots. So we're really just trying to focus on our durability here. So adding material in the right orientation and in the right zones is exceptionally important, and I think we really nailed it on this one. With that res flow technology, we're able to take full advantage of our patented process to maintain our 0 resin loss and strategically put every ounce of material exactly where we need it.
Very similar to res flow, just Xenic and PLD technologies are just such a standout for True Hockey. So, you know, if you've been sleeping under a rock, you don't know what PLD is, you don't know what Xenic is, what are those key technologies and how does that benefit the player at home watching this video?
Yeah, so our Xenic technology is around our compression molding. So we're able to get up to 250 PSI of pressure on our composite, which really helps with that laminate structure. You want 0 voids, and the higher the pressure you can get to, the lower your chances are to introduce those voids. With PLD, so precision laminate design, is just how the layering stacks up and how that laminate structure kind of works together to maximize the properties you need throughout the shaft. That's something we've started with and we've just improved on every year.
So from the construction to the layering to the materials, just absolutely dialed literally from top to bottom. So before we move on to the 7X4, everyone's gonna be wondering, What's the weight at about 60 inches here?
So for 60 inches in the 9X4, it's gonna be 360 grams.
That is always so impressive, like considering where we were just a couple of years ago. But I think equally as impressive is the weight of the 7X4.
Oh yes, absolutely. So at 60 inches, the 7X4 is coming in at 385 grams. And really it's getting all of the same technology that you find in the 9X, but in a slightly heavier, intentionally packaged for durability. So we're using all of the same technologies, we're just adding thicker, stronger materials to strengthen our 7X4.
I mean, it's crazy when you say you made a stick heavier and it's 385 grams,
Yeah.
you know, which is still so lightweight, but it's just such a great choice for maybe that elite level player looking for that true performance, but you know, with a little more oomph, a little more backbone in terms of durability, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, as we move on to the competitive and recreational sticks here, the 3X4 and the 5X4, carrying a very similar style that we see in the top of the line, but the 5X4 is gonna be a great choice for that maybe competitive player, obviously not on the same budget as the 7X4, but wants real performance. So you pick this up, it doesn't feel like a mid price point, almost feels like a high-end price point. So let's start with weight and then a couple key
Chase,
techs.
in a couple of years, that was the high-end price point weight at 415 grams. Our 5X4 is incredibly light for that price point, and it performs incredibly well. So we have the SRT3 technology in the blade. So one less rib, but at that weight, you don't need as much material to get the same or better strength. So we're able to cut that and still offer an incredibly high performing stick.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same blade core construction that we saw in the top of the line price point in the previous generation, right?
Absolutely.
And then last, but very not least, one of my favorite paint jobs in the entire line. I really like that gray here, but this is maybe for that recreational or casual competitive player. So starting with weight and then leading us on, what are a couple key techs here?
Yeah, so for the 3X4 at 60 inches, we're gonna come in at 435 grams. So it's still an extremely lightweight stick, more durable, still high performing, great entry level price point.
And it looks amazing too. Well, Jordan, as always, thanks so much for having us out here and walking us through the new HZRDUS line.
Absolutely, thanks Chase.
And for you at home that want to check out the entire line of True Sticks, make sure you head over to icewarehouse.com.